My sister wrote, "You were not invited to Christmas." Then I sent her a message. "Then you won't have a holiday either." I'm Zoe, 29, and I've been the family ATM for years. Single, no kids, decent job in marketing. My sister Brenda has 3 kids and constantly needs help. This year was different. I secretly spent $6,000 on Christmas, rented a cabin, hired a chef, bought personalized gifts for everyone. I even covered Brenda's December rent without telling her. But let me back up because this goes deeper than just Christmas. For the past 3 years, I've been Brenda's silent financial savior. When her car broke down in June, I paid the $2,800 repair bill. When her oldest needed braces, I covered the $4,500 orthodontist fee. When her husband lost his job last spring, I quietly transferred $800 every month to keep them afloat. I never asked for credit, never posted about it. I just helped because I thought that's what family does. Brenda's friends think she's this amazing mom who has it all figured out. They have no idea her perfect life is funded by her single sister who works in marketing. This Christmas was supposed to be my masterpiece. I'd been planning since October. The cabin had a stone fireplace, professional decorations, and a view of the lake. The chef was making prime rib, lobster mac and cheese, and homemade desserts. I bought each kid exactly what they'd whispered about wanting. The $300 art set for Daisy, the gaming headset for Gavin, the American Girl doll for Violet. I even hired a photographer to capture their Christmas morning faces. Then last week, Brenda texted, "Don't come to Christmas anymore. You've been difficult lately." Difficult because I said no when she wanted to take credit for the gifts I bought her kids. She literally asked me to rewrap everything and put her name on the tag so they'd think the presents came from her, not their aunt. When I said I wanted the kids to know who bought them, she called me selfish and attention-seeking. They uninvited me from the Christmas I planned and paid for. The audacity was breathtaking. She thought she could kick me out and still enjoy my $6,000 Christmas, like some kind of magical elf had arranged everything. So I went nuclear. I canceled the cabin reservation, lost the $200 deposit, but worth it. Called the chef, canceled, ate the $500 cancellation fee. Amazon deliveries all stopped. The photographer canceled. Then I got creative. I revoked the automatic rent payment that had been saving Brenda's ass for 8 months. I canceled the grocery delivery I'd scheduled for Christmas Eve. $400 worth of spiral ham, fancy sides, and wine. I even called the local toy store and canceled the layaway items I'd been paying on since September. Another $800 in gifts. I texted back, "Then you won't have a holiday either." Christmas Eve, 5 p.m. My phone exploded like a bomb went off. First call was Brenda, voice shaking. "Zoe, there's some mistake. The cabin rental people say our reservation was canceled." I let it ring. Then Carly, my other sister. "What's going on?" Brenda's having a meltdown. The kids are asking where all the presents are. Then Brenda again, crying now. "Please, Zoe, the kids are so disappointed. Can't we work this out?" By 7 p.m., my mom was calling. "Zoe, you fix this right now. Those children don't deserve this." But here's what really happened. They all showed up at Brenda's house expecting the Hallmark Christmas I'd created, even though they told me to stay away. No cabin, no chef, no presents, no fancy dinner. Just 3 adults and 5 kids sitting in a living room with a half-decorated tree and no plan. Brenda tried to explain to her kids why Christmas was suddenly canceled. But how do you tell a 7-year-old that Aunt Zoe took back Christmas because Mommy was mean? The kids were crying. New Year's Eve, Daisy called from Brenda's phone. "Aunt Zoe, we heard everything. Mom made us lie and say you never bought us stuff." Her voice cracked. "She's been telling everyone you're crazy and jealous because you don't have kids. But we found the receipts in her closet." I heard Brenda screaming in the background to hang up. "We want to come stay with you," Daisy whispered. "All 3 of us. We don't want to live with someone who lies." Then the line went dead, and I heard banging on my front door. I looked through the peephole, and honestly, my stomach just dropped. Brenda was out there with Jeff, and she looked like she was about to lose it. Her face was red. Mascara smudged down her cheeks, and Jeff had his hand on her shoulder like he was trying to calm her down. But I could see he was pissed too. I kept the chain lock on and opened the door just enough to see them properly. "Open this door right now, Zoe," Brenda said through clenched teeth. Her voice was shaking, like she was trying so hard not to scream. "Where are my kids? What did you say to them?" "I didn't say anything to them, Brenda," I said, keeping my voice calm even though my heart was racing. "They called me. From your phone, actually. They wanted to talk. You manipulated them," she screamed. "And I swear the neighbor's lights flickered on across the street. You ruined Christmas out of spite, and now you're trying to steal my children." Jeff stepped forward a bit. "And look, I've always gotten along okay with Jeff. He's not a bad guy, just kind of weak when it comes to standing standing up to Brenda. Zoe, can we just talk about this? Please? The kids are really upset and they're saying things that don't make sense. What don't they make sense about? I asked, and I could hear the edge in my own voice now. Did they tell you the truth about who actually paid for everything? Brenda's eyes went wide, and for a second, I thought she might actually break through my door. You had no right to tell them that. They're children. They don't need to know about adult financial arrangements. Adult financial arrangements? I actually laughed at that. Brenda, you literally asked me to lie and put your name on presents I bought. You wanted credit for my money. That's not an arrangement, that's theft. We had no backup plan for Christmas, Jeff said quietly, and Brenda whipped her head around to glare at him. He kept talking anyway. The kids have been asking questions about who really paid for things. I mean, the cabin receipt had your name on it, Zoe. The delivery confirmations came to your email. Daisy's not stupid. Shut up, Jeff, Brenda hissed. No, I'm not gonna shut up, he said, and honestly, I was kind of impressed. This is exactly what I was worried about. I told you we needed to talk to Zoe to work something out, but you just kept saying she'd come around, that she'd never actually follow through. Brenda turned back to me and her face had changed. The anger was still there, but now there was something else too. Desperation, maybe. Zoe, please. You don't understand what it's like. You have your nice apartment, your career, your freedom. I have 3 kids and a husband who lost his job. I needed this Christmas to be perfect for them. Then you shouldn't have uninvited me, I said flatly. You don't get to use me as a bank and then kick me out when I don't behave exactly how you want. You're jealous, Brenda shouted, pointing at me through the gap in the door. You're alone and you have no kids and you hate seeing me happy. That's what this is really about. You want to steal my children because you're so pathetic and lonely. That one actually hurt. Not gonna lie. My throat got tight and I had to take a breath before I could respond. If you really believe that, then you don't know me at all, which honestly, maybe you never did. I know you're being vindictive and cruel, Brenda said, and she was crying again now. Those kids worship you. You're using that to hurt me. Leave, I said, or I'm calling the police and documenting this harassment. I mean it, Brenda. Jeff grabbed Brenda's arm. Come on, honey, this isn't helping. Let's just go home and we'll figure this out tomorrow. Figure what out? Brenda yanked her arm away. She destroyed everything. There's nothing to figure out. But Jeff was already pulling her back toward their car. I could hear Brenda crying and yelling something about me being a horrible sister as they walked away. I closed the door and just stood there in my hallway, shaking. My phone buzzed in my pocket. It was a text from a number I didn't recognize. When I opened it, I saw it was Daisy. This is Daisy. I'm using my friend Hannah's phone. Can I really come stay with you during winter break? Gavin and Violet keep crying and asking why Mom lied about Aunt Zoe. She took our phones, but we're borrowing friends' phones at school. Please answer. We miss you. I sat down right there on my hallway floor and just stared at that message for probably 10 minutes. These kids were in the middle of this nightmare, and it wasn't their fault. None of this was their fault. I texted back, "Hi, sweetheart. I miss you guys too. Let me talk to some people and figure out what we can do, okay? You're not in trouble, and I love you. Tell Gavin and Violet I love them too." 3 dots appeared immediately. Then, Mom says you're trying to hurt her. But you're not, right? You were just mad she was being mean. God, this was killing me. That's right, honey. I was hurt by how your mom treated me. But I never wanted any of you to be hurt. You believe that, right? Yes, I believe you. Hannah's mom is calling me for dinner. Bye, Aunt Zoe. The next morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls. 12 from Brenda, 3 from my mom, 2 from Carly. I ignored all of them and made coffee, trying to figure out my next move. Then Carly called again, and something told me I should answer this one. "What the hell did you do?" Carly said as soon as I picked up. "No hello, no nothing." Brenda called me at like 2 in the morning, sobbing about how you destroyed Christmas. "And now you're trying to kidnap her kids." "That's not what happened," I said. "Then explain it to me, because I'm getting 100 different versions of the story and I don't know what's real anymore." So I opened my laptop. "Give me your email. I'm going to send you something." "Zoe, I don't have time for..." "Just give me your damn email, Carly." She did. I spent the next 20 minutes compiling every bank transfer, every receipt, every Venmo transaction from the past 3 years, the car repair bill, the orthodontist payments, the monthly rent transfers, the Christmas expenses, all of it. I sent it in one big PDF with a simple subject line, "The Real Story." Carly didn't respond right away. I could see she'd opened the email, but then nothing. I waited, drinking my coffee and watching my phone. Finally, after like 10 minutes that felt like hours, My phone rang again. When I answered, there was just silence on the other end. Then I heard Carly take a shaky breath. "Carly, $47,000, she whispered. "You've given her $47,000 in 3 years?" "I didn't give it to her," I said. "I paid for things she needed. There's a difference." "Does Mom know about this?" "No. Brenda asked me not to tell anyone. She said it was embarrassing." More silence. Then Carly hung up without saying anything else. I sat there staring at my phone, wondering if I'd just made things better or worse. The answer came 3 days later when Brenda's landlord called me directly. My number was apparently on file as an emergency contact, something Brenda must have added without telling me. "Ms. Zoe, this is Harold Chen from Pinecrest Property Management. I'm calling about the rental property at 2847 Maple Street. The rent check has bounced, and this is actually the 3rd month without full payment. I've been very patient, but I need to resolve this situation." My stomach twisted. "I'm not sure why you're calling." "Me, Mr. Chen. You're listed as a secondary contact, and you've been making the automatic payments for the past 8 months. The account those were coming from has been closed." "Yeah, I closed it," I said. "That was my personal account." There was a pause. "I see. Does Ms. Brenda know you've stopped the payments?" "She should, yes." "All right then. I'll need to follow up with her directly. Thank you for your time, Ms. Zoe." After he hung up, I actually felt sick. I mean, I knew canceling the automatic transfers would affect Brenda, but hearing it laid out like that made it real. 3 months without full rent. She'd been depending on my money so completely that she hadn't even set up her own payments. That afternoon, Jeff called me, not Brenda. Jeff. "Zoe, it's Jeff. Don't hang up, please." "I'm listening," I said. "I found something, a folder in Brenda's closet. It's labeled Zoe's Payments, and it has 3 years of receipts and bank statements. She's been keeping track of everything you gave us." "Gave you?" "Jeff, did you even know I was helping?" The silence that followed told me everything I needed to know. Oh my God. He finally said, "You're telling me I had no idea my sister-in-law was covering our rent, our car repairs, our kids' expenses?" "That's exactly what I'm telling you. Brenda told me the payments were coming from my direct deposit. She said she'd set up automatic transfers for my paycheck before I lost my job, and they were just carrying over." I closed my eyes. "Jeff, you lost your job in March. It's January now. Did you really think your job was still paying you?" "I didn't look at the accounts, okay?" He sounded broken. "Brenda handles all the money stuff. She always has." I trusted her. "Well, maybe you shouldn't have. We had a massive fight about this last night," Jeff said. "I mean, like the worst fight we've ever had. I confronted her with the folder, and she just kept defending herself, saying she did it out of pride, that she didn't want me to feel like a failure." "That's manipulation, Jeff." "I know." He was getting louder now. "I know it is, but what am I supposed to do? She's my wife. These are my kids. We're drowning here, Zoe. Without your help, we can't even make rent." "That's not my problem anymore," I said, and I meant it. "You guys need to figure out how to live within your actual means. Can we just talk? In person? Please? I need to understand what happened, and Brenda won't give me a straight answer." We met at a coffee shop 2 days later. Jeff looked awful, like he hadn't slept in a week. His hair was messy, his clothes wrinkled, and he had this defeated look in his eyes that actually made me feel bad for him. "I'm sorry," he said as soon as he sat down. "For everything, for not knowing, for letting Brenda treat you like that." "You didn't let her," I said. "You just didn't stop her. There's a difference." He nodded, staring into his coffee cup. "I need to find a job. Like, immediately. I've been putting it off, telling myself something would work out, but that was just me being lazy and scared." "What happened with your last job?" "Got laid off. Company downsized, and I was one of the newest hires, so I was first to go. I've been applying here and there, but nothing serious. Brenda kept saying we were fine, that we had enough saved up." I believed her. "Jeff, you realize she's been lying to you for almost a year, right? This isn't just about me. She's been lying to you, to your kids, to our entire family." "I know," he said quietly. "And honestly, I'm starting to wonder what else she's lied about." Meanwhile, my mom finally got involved. She showed up at my apartment unannounced on a Saturday morning, which is very much not her style. Mom likes to call first, give you time to clean up and put on real pants. So when I opened the door and saw her standing there with her purse clutched tight and her mouth set in a thin line, I knew this was serious. "Can I come in?" she asked. "Of course." She walked past me into my living room and just stood there for a minute, looking around like she was seeing my place for the first time. Then she turned to me with tears in her eyes. "I came here to yell at you," she said. "Brenda called me every single day this week, crying about how you ruined Christmas and abandoned the family. She said you were jealous and cruel, and that you were trying to turn the kids against her." "Mom, let me finish." She held up her hand. I believed her. "I was so angry at you, Zoe. I thought you'd done something unforgivable. I was going to come here and tell you that you needed to apologize and fix this immediately." "What changed?" I asked. Carly sent me an email. She said I needed to see something before I talked to you. Mom pulled out her phone with shaking hands. She sent me your bank statements, all the receipts, 3 years of payments. I didn't say anything. What was there to say? $47,000, Mom whispered, and a tear rolled down her cheek. You gave your sister $47,000 and never said a word to anyone. She asked me not to, I said. She said it was embarrassing. Embarrassing? Mom laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. You know what's embarrassing? Letting your daughter sacrifice herself for her sister while I sat here completely clueless. Brenda has been lying to this entire family about their financial stability. To me, to your father, to everyone. She sat down on my couch and just put her face in her hands. I sat next to her, not sure what to do. Mom's always been the strong one, the one who holds everyone together. Seeing her like this was weird and uncomfortable. Last year, Mom said after a minute, Brenda asked me for $5,000. She said it was for a medical emergency, that one of the kids needed surgery. I gave it to her immediately, didn't even question it. When was this? June of last year. I pulled out my phone and scrolled through my bank records. June of last year. Mom, that's when I paid for Gavin's braces. $4,500. Mom looked up at me with this expression I'd never seen before, like she was realizing something horrible about someone she loved. She lied to me? She took money from both of us for the same expense. Yeah, I said, she did. How could she do that? Mom's voice cracked. How could she lie to her own mother? To her own sister? I don't know, Mom, but she did. And when I finally said no, when I finally wanted credit for helping her kids, she kicked me out and tried to keep everything I'd paid for. Mom stood up and started pacing. I need to talk to her. I need to understand what she was thinking. Good luck with that, I muttered, but Mom wasn't listening anymore. She was already halfway out the door, mumbling something about calling Brenda and demanding answers. I just sat there in my apartment, feeling exhausted and sad, and also kind of relieved that someone finally believed me. That same day, while I was basically having an existential crisis on my couch, Brenda was having her own meltdown. I didn't know this at the time, but apparently she decided to go full nuclear option on social media. She created this long Facebook post painting herself as the victim. The post was something like, when family turns their back on you during the holidays, you realize blood doesn't mean as much as you thought. Some people would rather see you suffer than admit they're wrong. I'm heartbroken and my children are devastated, but we will survive this betrayal. Praying for those who have lost their way. Real subtle, right? She didn't mention my name, but she tagged our entire family and like half her friend list. The post got immediate reactions. People were commenting things like, "Stay strong, mama," and "Who would do this to you?" and "Your sister should be ashamed." But then, and this is the beautiful part, Carly saw the post, and Carly had had enough. She commented with a screenshot of one of my bank statements showing the Christmas expenses, just the cabin rental, the chef, and the photographer, total of about $4,500. And she wrote, "Maybe ask yourself who actually planned Christmas before you claim someone turned their back on you." The comment section exploded. People started asking questions. Someone pointed out that Brenda had been posting about this amazing Christmas cabin for weeks. Another person said they'd seen her talking about all the expensive gifts she'd bought the kids. And now people were putting two and two together. Brenda's friend Megan commented, "Wait, so someone else paid for Christmas and you uninvited them? Am I reading this right?" Within like an hour, Brenda deleted the post. But the internet doesn't forget. Multiple people had already screenshotted it. I got texts from cousins and family friends asking what was going on. My phone was blowing up with messages from people I hadn't talked to in years, all wanting to know the tea. And honestly, it felt kind of good. Not in a mean way, but in a finally people see the truth way. I was tired of being the bad guy. Tired of being painted as the jealous, lonely sister who was trying to ruin everything. The truth was out there now, and I didn't even have to be the one to share it, but the kids. God, the kids were suffering through all of this. And that part killed me. Daisy kept texting me from different friends' phones. She'd managed to hold on to Hannah's old phone that wasn't activated, but she could use it on Wi-Fi. She told me that Brenda had confiscated all their devices after the Facebook thing, but they found ways around it. Mom and Dad are fighting all the time now. One message said, "Violet asked why we can't see you, and Mom said you abandoned us. But we know that's not true. We heard her on the phone with Grandma saying, 'You told everyone her business?'" Another message, this time from Gavin using someone else's phone. "Dad is really quiet now. He just sits in his office and looks at papers. I asked him if we were poor, and he said not to worry about it." Are we poor, Aunt Zoe? These messages were absolutely destroying me. I wanted to tell them everything was going to be okay, that we'd figure it out, but I honestly didn't know if that was true. Their family was falling apart, and even though it wasn't my fault, I felt guilty anyway. Then Daisy sent me something that made my blood run cold. Mom keeps looking at her phone and crying. She says you ruined her life. Dad told her she ruined it herself. They're really mad at each other. I'm scared, Aunt Zoe. Can you please just fix it? I know you're mad, but we need you. I showed that message to my therapist at my next appointment. Yeah, I'd started seeing someone after this whole mess kicked off because I was having panic attacks and couldn't sleep. Dr. Kim read the message and looked at me with this really serious expression. Zoe, these children are using you as their emotional support because their parents are failing them. You understand that's not your responsibility, right? But they're my niece and nephews. I said, I can't just abandon them. You're not abandoning them. You're setting boundaries with their mother, which is healthy and necessary. Their parents' relationship problems are not your burden to carry. So what do? Just ignore them? No. You respond to them with love and age-appropriate honesty. You tell them you love them, that the adult problems are between adults, and that none of this is their fault. But you don't position yourself as their savior, because that's not fair to you or to them. So that's what I did. I texted Daisy back, sweetheart, I love you and your brother and sister so much. The problems between your mom and me are complicated adult stuff that has nothing to do with you three. You are not responsible for fixing anything, okay? Your job is to be a kid. I promise we will all figure this out. But it might take some time. She responded with a heart emoji and, okay, I love you too. Meanwhile, Brenda's social life was imploding. Turns out when you build your whole identity on being a perfect mom with a perfect life, and then people find out it was all funded by someone else, your friends start to feel deceived. Megan, who was apparently Brenda's closest friend, called me directly. I need to apologize to you, she said as soon as I answered. I had no idea what Brenda was doing. She told me you guys just had normal sister drama. It's okay, I said, even though it kind of wasn't. No, it's not okay. Last year, Brenda asked me to loan her $1,200 for emergency car repairs. She was crying and saying her kids wouldn't have transportation to school. I gave her the money immediately. I already knew where this was going. Let me guess. June? How did you know? Because I paid $2,800 for her car repairs in June. She double-dipped. Oh my God. Megan sounded genuinely shocked. She lied to me. She took money from both of us for the same thing. Yeah, she did that to our mom too, for Gavin's braces. I feel so stupid, Megan said, and I feel awful for you. You were actually helping her, and she treated you like garbage. I'm so sorry, Zoe. After that call, I learned that Brenda had borrowed money from at least 3 other friends using similar sob stories. Kelsey from her book club, Amanda from church, and someone named Jennifer from her kids' PTA. All of them reached out to me once the truth started coming out, and all of them had been lied to about what the money was for. The worst part was that some of the things Brenda had claimed to need money for were expenses I'd actually covered. She was essentially fundraising off of needs that didn't exist, pocketing the cash, and then using my money for the actual expenses. It was fraud, basically, just against people who cared about her. While all this was exploding, Jeff was having his own crisis. He applied to 30 positions in 1 week, anything he could find, even jobs that paid way less than his previous salary. He told me later that it was humbling as hell, going from a management position to applying for entry-level work, but he didn't have a choice. Pride became a luxury he couldn't afford. My mom called a family meeting at her house with just me, Brenda, Carly, and our parents. Dad had been staying quiet through most of this, but I could tell he was mad. He has this way of getting really still when he's angry, like a storm that hasn't broken yet. We all sat in Mom and Dad's living room, and it was the most uncomfortable silence I've ever experienced. Brenda looked awful. Her hair was greasy and pulled back in a messy ponytail. She had dark circles under her eyes, and she kept picking at her fingernails. She wouldn't look at any of us. Brenda, Mom said finally, I need you to explain to me why you asked me for $5,000 last year, when Zoe had already paid for Gavin's braces. Brenda's eyes filled with tears immediately. I didn't mean to lie. I just needed the money and I didn't know how else to ask. But you did lie, Dad said, and his voice was hard. You lied to your mother. You lied to your sister. You've been lying to your husband. Hell, you've been lying to your own kids about where their Christmas presents came from. I was embarrassed, Brenda shouted suddenly, and I actually jumped. Do you know what it's like being the family failure? Zoe has her perfect life and her perfect job, and she doesn't have to worry about anything. I'm drowning every single day trying to take care of 3 kids and keep a house running while Jeff can't find work. I needed help, but I didn't want everyone to know how badly we were struggling. So you used me, I said quietly. You used my money and my generosity, and then you kicked me out when I didn't act exactly how you wanted. You were being controlling. Brenda turned on me. You wanted credit for every little thing you did. You wanted my kids to think you were better than me. I wanted them to know who their presents came from. I said, that's literally it. I didn't want credit for being their mom or anything insane like that. I just didn't want to lie to them. You made me look like a bad mother. No, Brenda, Dad said firmly. You did that yourself when you chose pride over honesty. Brenda broke down crying then, and I felt that familiar pull to comfort her, to make it okay. But Dr. Kim's voice was in my head. You're not responsible for managing her emotions. So I just sat there and let her cry. I'm sorry, Brenda said through her sobs. I'm so sorry. I didn't know what else to do. Everything just spiraled and I couldn't figure out how to fix it. You start by being honest, Mom said. With all of us. No more lies, no more manipulation. You tell us exactly what your financial situation is, and we figure out a real plan. Not a plan that involves taking advantage of your sister. Carly, who'd been quiet this whole time, spoke up. Brenda asked me for money too, you know. A few weeks ago, after the Christmas thing blew up, she told me Zoe had cut her off cruelly without any warning, and she needed help with groceries. I almost sent her $300 until I saw the receipts Zoe shared. Oh my God, I muttered. How many people did you ask? I don't know, Brenda yelled. I was desperate. You all don't understand what it's like. Then help us understand, Dad said. Stop with the dramatics and actually explain what's going on. So Brenda did, and as much as I wanted to hate her in that moment, hearing her breakdown of their finances was actually terrifying. Jeff hadn't had a real paycheck in 10 months. Their savings were gone. They were 3 months behind on rent, and that was with my payments covering most of it. Their credit cards were maxed out. They had maybe $400 in their checking account. They were, in her words, completely fucked. Why didn't you ask us for help properly? Mom asked. Why all the lies and manipulation? Because I didn't want to be that person, Brenda said. I didn't want to be the daughter who failed at life, the sister who couldn't make it work. Zoe makes everything look so easy, and I just couldn't stand being the one who needed rescuing. So instead, you lied and took advantage of the one person who was actually helping you, I said. Makes total sense. I know it doesn't, Brenda said quietly. I know I messed up. I know I hurt you. I just don't know how to fix it. The meeting ended with Mom and Dad agreeing to help with 1 month's rent while Jeff looked for work, but with strict conditions. Brenda had to apologize to everyone she'd lied to. She had to give me access to her accounts to verify she wasn't borrowing money anywhere else. And she had to go to therapy, individual therapy, not couples therapy, to figure out why she'd rather lie than ask for help. A week after that meeting, Jeff got a job interview. It was for an assistant manager position at a local sporting goods store, which was way below his previous management role at a tech company. But the pay wasn't terrible, $42,000 a year plus benefits. He'd been making $70,000 before the layoff, so it was a significant downgrade, but it was something real. He got the job. His first paycheck would come in 2 weeks, and he immediately sat down with Brenda to create a budget. He showed me the spreadsheet later, and honestly, it was brutal. After rent, utilities, and basic expenses, they'd have maybe $300 a month for everything else. No eating out, no fancy activities, no safety net. But it was honest, it was real. We should have been living like this all along, Jeff told me over coffee. Instead of depending on you and lying about it, I feel like such an idiot. You didn't know, I said. I should have known. I should have been paying attention to our accounts instead of just trusting Brenda to handle everything. Meanwhile, Brenda was having her own reckoning. The toy store manager from the canceled layaway orders actually called her, which is when things got even weirder. Apparently, someone matching Brenda's description had come in trying to reclaim the items using a fake receipt. The manager had security footage and wanted to know if that was Brenda or if someone was impersonating her. It was Brenda. She admitted it when the manager called me to verify. She tried to get the toys using a photoshopped receipt, hoping she could still give the kids something for Christmas. The manager decided not to press charges since nothing was actually stolen, but he banned her from the store. The humiliation of that, on top of everything else, seemed to finally break through Brenda's defensive walls. She called me a few days later and her voice was different, quieter, more tired. I need to tell you something, she said, and I need you to not hang up on me. I'm listening. I tried to steal those toys from the layaway. I created a fake receipt and everything. The manager called you, didn't he? Yeah. I'm so sorry, Zoe. I keep saying that, but I mean it. I was desperate and scared, and I made everything worse. I've been making everything worse for years. Yeah, I said, you have. Can I ask you something and be honest with me? Okay, do you hate me? I thought about that for a long minute. Did I hate her? I was angry, hurt, betrayed, but hate? No, I don't hate you, but I don't trust you either. That's fair, she said, and she sounded like she was crying. I wouldn't trust me either. Jeff's first paycheck came through on a Friday. He showed me the deposit slip like a kid showing off a good report card. $482 after taxes and insurance. Their first rent payment, made entirely from their own money, hit their landlord's account that same day. "It's not much," Jeff said, "but it's ours. Actually ours." Brenda got a part-time job at Target. It was only 20 hours a week and paid minimum wage, but she was desperate to contribute something. Her first shift was stocking shelves at night after the kids went to bed, and she called me afterward just to talk. "I saw Mrs. Patterson from church there," she said, "buying paper towels at 10 p.m. I could tell she recognized me, but didn't want to say anything. It was so embarrassing." "Why was it embarrassing?" I asked. "You're working. There's nothing embarrassing about that, I guess. It just feels like everyone's watching me now, waiting to see what I mess up next. Maybe stop worrying about what everyone thinks and just focus on doing the right thing." "When did you become so wise?" she asked, and I could hear a smile in her voice. "When I started therapy," I said honestly. "You should try it." She did start therapy. Mom found her a counselor who specialized in family dynamics and financial stress. Brenda went to her first appointment and apparently cried for 45 of the 50-minute session. But she went back for a second appointment and a third, and slowly something started to shift. The kids' school called about Gavin's science fair project. He'd been working on it alone because Brenda was too stressed, and Jeff was working overtime. The teacher, Mr. Davidson, asked if anyone could come help Gavin finish his presentation board. I almost said yes immediately, but then I stopped myself. "Have you called his parents?" I asked. His mother said she was too busy with work. "Call his dad then. If neither of them can make it, call me back." Jeff ended up leaving work early to help Gavin. They stayed up until midnight finishing the presentation board, and Gavin ended up winning third place in his category. Jeff sent me a photo of them with a ribbon, both of them grinning. It was the first time I'd seen Jeff look genuinely happy in months. The science fair was also where Brenda and I ran into each other for the first time since the family meeting. I saw her walking toward Gavin's display, and for a second we just made eye contact across the gymnasium. Neither of us looked away. Neither of us smiled. We just acknowledged each other's existence, and that felt like progress. After the award ceremony, Gavin ran up to both of us. "Mom, Aunt Zoe, did you see? I got third place." "I saw, buddy," Brenda said, hugging him. "Your board looked amazing." "Dad helped me," Gavin said proudly. "We stayed up really late working on it." "I'm so proud of you," I said, and I meant it. "You worked really hard." Gavin looked between his mom and me, and I could see him trying to figure out if things were okay between us. Kids pick up on tension like that. Finally, he just asked, "Are you guys still fighting?" Brenda and I looked at each other. "We're working on it," Brenda said. "Sometimes adults need time to fix things, just like when you and Violet fight over toys." "But you'll be friends again eventually?" Gavin asked hopefully. "We'll see," I said, which felt more honest than making a promise I wasn't sure I could keep. A few weeks later, I bumped into Brenda at the grocery store. We were both in the produce section, reaching for the same bag of apples. It should have been awkward, but instead we both just kind of laughed. "You can have them," Brenda said. "No, you were here first." We ended up shopping together, not intentionally, just because we kept ending up in the same aisles. She had her list written on the back of an envelope, and I noticed she was buying the store brand everything. No name brands, no extras, just basics. "How are the kids?" I asked as we waited in line. "Good. Violet lost another tooth. Gavin's obsessed with his science trophy. Daisy made the honor roll." "That's great. How are you?" Brenda asked, and she actually looked at me when she asked. "I'm okay. Busy with work. Going to therapy once a week." "How is that?" "Hard, but good." We checked out separately and walked to our cars, which happened to be parked near each other. Before she got in her car, Brenda turned to me. "Zoe?" "Yeah?" "I'm sorry, I know I've said it before, but I mean it. I took advantage of you for years, and then I blamed you when you finally stopped letting me. That was wrong. All of it was wrong. I know. Can we talk sometime? Like, really talk? Not at a family meeting or in a parking lot, but just us?" I thought about it. "Maybe. I'll let you know when I'm ready." She nodded. "That's fair." 2 weeks later, Brenda called and asked my opinion on Gavin's report card. She didn't ask for money. She didn't make excuses. She just wanted to talk about her son's grades and whether she should be concerned about his B in English. We talked for 20 minutes about normal parent stuff, homework strategies, and whether he needed a tutor. It was the most normal conversation we'd had in months, maybe years. "Thanks," Brenda said at the end. "Jeff's at work and I just needed someone to talk to about this." "Anytime," I said, and I was surprised to realize I meant it. Easter came around and Mom invited everyone to her house for dinner. I almost said no because I didn't know if I was ready to sit through a family meal with Brenda, but Carly convinced me. "She's trying," Carly said, "and you don't have to forgive her or forget what happened, but maybe just show up and see how it goes." So I went. Brenda brought deviled eggs she'd made herself and a vegetable casserole. They weren't fancy, just normal homemade dishes. She didn't try to impress anyone or pretend everything was perfect. She just showed up with what she could afford to bring. Dinner was actually nice. Not perfect. There were still some weird silences and moments of tension, but nice. Dad told bad jokes. Mom fussed over everyone's plates. The kids colored Easter pictures. Brenda and I didn't talk much, but we didn't avoid each other either. At one point, Violet came up to me and climbed into my lap. "Aunt Zoe, I miss you. When can we have another sleepover?" I looked at Brenda. She was watching us. And for a second, I thought she might shut it down. Instead, she said, "How about next Saturday, if it's okay with Aunt Zoe?" "That works for me," I said. Violet squealed and hugged me. "Yay! Can Daisy and Gavin come too?" "If they want to," I said. Brenda came over later while I was putting dishes in the dishwasher. "Thank you for being willing to spend time with them. I know things are still complicated between us. They're my niece and nephews," I said. "That doesn't change." "I know, but you could have walked away from all of us and I wouldn't have blamed you. Instead, you're still here. I'm still here," I agreed. "But things are different now. You understand that, right?" "I do," Brenda said. "I'm not asking for things to go back to how they were. I know they can't. I just want a chance to rebuild something real." The kids' monthly Aunt Day became a regular thing. Once a month, all 3 kids would come to my apartment for the afternoon. We'd make cookies or play games or watch movies. Nothing fancy, nothing expensive, just time together. During one of these days, Daisy asked me something that caught me off guard. "Aunt Zoe, are you and Mom friends again?" "We're working on it," I said. "Why do you ask?" "Because Mom talks about you differently now. She doesn't say mean things anymore. She says she wishes she'd been a better sister." "Your mom is trying very hard to do better," I said. "And that's good. But grown-up relationships are complicated, and sometimes fixing them takes a really long time." "Do you think you'll ever be friends like you used to be?" Violet asked. "I don't know, sweetie, maybe? Something different but still good." 6 months after the Christmas disaster, Brenda's coworker at Target asked why she was so quiet about her lifestyle when she drove a decent car and had nice things. Brenda told me about this conversation later, and what she said surprised me. "I told her the truth," Brenda said. "I told her I used to have help that I took for granted, and now I'm learning to appreciate what I actually have instead of pretending to be something I'm not." "How did that feel?" I asked. "Scary, but also kind of freeing. Like, I don't have to keep up this perfect image anymore. I can just be honest about where we are." "That's really big, Brenda." "I'm trying," she said. "Some days are better than others, but I'm really trying." More months passed. Jeff got a small raise at work. Brenda picked up extra hours during the holiday season. They still weren't living comfortably, but they were living honestly. They moved to a cheaper apartment in the same building, a 2-bedroom instead of 3, and the kids had to share rooms. But they made rent every month without help. One evening, Brenda called me and said she needed to drop something off. When she showed up at my apartment, she handed me an envelope. "What's this?" I asked. "Open it." Inside was $500 in cash. "Brenda, it's not even close to what I owe you," she said quickly. "I know that. $47,000 is a debt I might never fully repay, but this is a start. It's symbolic, I guess. I wanted you to know I'm serious about making things right." I stared at the money. $500 probably represented weeks of her Target paychecks after expenses. "You don't have to do this." "I do, though," Brenda said. "Not because you're demanding it, but because I need to. I need to know I'm capable of standing on my own feet and still doing the right thing." I took the money, not because I needed it, but because refusing it would have undercut what she was trying to do. "Thank you. This means a lot. I'll send more when I can. Not on any kind of schedule, just when we have extra. It might take years, but I promise I'll keep trying." After she left, I sat there, holding that envelope and feeling something I hadn't felt in months. Hope. Maybe not hope that things would go back to normal, because they wouldn't, but hope that Brenda and I could build something new, something based on honesty instead of obligation. Brenda continued making small payments over the following months. Sometimes it was $50, sometimes $200. She never made a big deal about it, just sent me Venmo transfers with simple notes like payment 3 or toward the debt. I kept track of every payment in a spreadsheet, not because I was obsessive about getting my money back, but because it mattered that she was trying. Then something unexpected happened. Brenda's co-worker at Target, a woman named Patricia, asked why she seemed so grounded and humble compared to when she first started. Apparently, when Brenda started working there, she talked a lot about her past life, dropping hints about expensive vacations and nice things. But now she never mentioned that stuff. Brenda told me about this conversation during one of our increasingly regular phone calls. I told Patricia the truth. I said I used to live beyond my means with help I didn't appreciate. Now I'm learning what I can actually afford, and honestly, it's kind of liberating. "That's really mature, Brenda," I said, and I meant it. Patricia said something that stuck with me. She said most people spend their whole lives pretending to be richer than they are, and I was brave for being honest. I never thought of it as brave. I just thought I was finally doing the right thing. The honesty was spreading to other areas too. Brenda started being more open with her kids about money, not in a scary way, but in an educational way. When Daisy asked for expensive sneakers, Brenda showed her the budget and explained why they couldn't afford them. Then they went online together and found a similar pair on sale. The crazy thing is, Brenda told me, Daisy was actually proud of finding the sale. She told her friends she's learning to be smart with money like her mom. I cried when she said that. Around this time, Jeff landed a promotion at the sporting goods store. Not a huge one, but assistant manager to full manager meant an extra $8,000 a year. For most people, that's not life-changing, but for them, it meant they could start building an emergency fund. They opened a savings account and committed to putting $100 in it every month. I know $100 isn't much, Jeff said when he told me about it, but it's ours and it's growing, and that feels incredible after months of feeling like we were drowning. Summer came and Daisy's birthday was approaching. She'd be turning 12, officially becoming a tween. Brenda called me nervous, asking if I thought it would be weird if she threw a small party at their apartment instead of something bigger. Brenda, I said gently, the kids don't care about big parties. They just want to feel loved and celebrated. I know, you're right. It's just hard breaking the habit of trying to make everything look perfect, you know? The party ended up being perfect in its own way. 8 kids, homemade decorations, cake from the grocery store, and pizza. Daisy wore a dress she'd picked out with her clothing allowance, and she was beaming. No expensive entertainer, no elaborate venue, just kids having fun in a small apartment. I showed up with a modest present, a journal set that Daisy had mentioned wanting. When she opened it, she hugged me and whispered, "This is exactly what I wanted. How did you remember?" "Because I listen," I said simply. After the party, Brenda and I helped clean up together. It was one of the first times we'd been alone in the same space for more than a few minutes. Since everything happened, "Thank you for coming," Brenda said, scraping paper plates into the trash, "and for not showing up with something ridiculously expensive to make me look bad." "I wouldn't do that," I said. "I'm not trying to compete with you, Brenda. I never was." She stopped cleaning and looked at me. "I know, I think I always knew that, deep down. I just couldn't get past my own insecurity and jealousy to see it." We finished cleaning in comfortable silence. And when I left, Brenda hugged me. Not a quick obligation hug, but a real one. "I'm proud of you," I said into her shoulder. "For real, you're doing hard work." "Thanks," she said, her voice muffled. "That means more than you know." A few weeks later, I ran into Megan at a coffee shop. She was the friend Brenda had borrowed money from for the fake car repair. We'd texted a few times since the truth came out, but we hadn't talked face to face. "Hey," she said, sliding into the booth across from me. "Mind if I join you?" "Not at all. I wanted to tell you that Brenda came to see me last month. She brought me $600. I raised my eyebrows. "Really?" She said it was half of what she owed me, and she'd pay the rest when she could. But the money isn't even the important part. She apologized. Like, really apologized. She didn't make excuses or try to justify what she did. She just owned it. How did that feel? Honestly, it felt good. I was so angry at her for months. Felt like such an idiot for believing her lies. But seeing her take responsibility like that, it helped me let go of some of that anger. "Are you guys friends again?" I asked. Megan thought about that. "Not like we were, but maybe we could be eventually. She's different now. Humbler, I guess, more real." That same week, I got a text from Amanda, the woman from Brenda's church. She'd also received a repayment and apology. Then Kelsey from book club. Brenda was systematically going through everyone she'd lied to, apologizing and paying them back whatever she could. When I asked her about it, she said, "My therapist said I needed to make amends as part of my recovery, not because people demanded it, but because I need to prove to myself that I can clean up my own messes." "That's really brave," I said. "It's terrifying, actually. Every time I go to apologize to someone, I want to throw up. But it also feels right, you know? Like I'm finally being the person I should have been all along." Fall arrived, and with it came school shopping. Brenda posted in the family group chat asking if anyone had hand-me-downs the kids could use before she bought new clothes. It was such a simple thing, but it showed how much she'd changed. The old Brenda would have gone into debt buying new everything, then asked me to cover it. Mom responded immediately with boxes of clothes from cousins. Carly sent over some barely worn items her kids had outgrown. I found a winter coat at a thrift store that would fit. Gavin and dropped it off. "I feel like I should be embarrassed about this," Brenda said when I gave her the coat. "Asking for used clothes, accepting charity. But I'm not. I'm grateful." "Good," I said. "There's no shame in accepting help when it's offered freely." "Is that why you helped me all those years?" she asked. "Because you wanted to?" I thought about that. At first, yeah. I saw my sister struggling and I wanted to help. But somewhere along the way, it stopped feeling like helping and started feeling like an obligation, like you expected it, and I was just supposed to provide it without question. I did expect it, Brenda admitted, and that was wrong. I treated you like a bank instead of a person. October brought Gavin's birthday, and the party was similar to Daisy's. Small, simple, genuine. Brenda had gotten better at making these events fun without spending a ton of money. Games, snacks, and lots of laughing. Gavin seemed happier than I'd seen him in ages. During the party, one of Gavin's friends' moms pulled me aside. I don't know if anyone's told you this, but Gavin talks about you all the time. He says you're the coolest aunt ever. My throat got tight. He's a good kid. His mom's different lately too, she said. More relaxed, I think. She used to be so stressed at every school event, like she was trying too hard to prove something. Now she just seems present, you know? I did know. That was exactly it. Brenda was finally present in her own life instead of performing for everyone else. Thanksgiving came around, and nobody was quite sure what to do. Last year's Thanksgiving had been at Brenda's house, with me secretly funding most of the meal. This year, Mom offered to host, and everyone agreed. The day arrived, and we all gathered at Mom and Dad's house. Brenda and Jeff brought a green bean casserole and rolls, both homemade. Nothing fancy, but made with effort. The kids ran around with their cousins, and for the first time in months, things felt almost normal. During dinner, Dad stood up to give a toast. "I'm thankful for family," he said, "for the good times and the hard times, because both teach us something. I'm proud of my daughters for having the courage to be honest with each other, even when it hurt." Brenda started crying quietly, and I reached over and squeezed her hand. She squeezed back. After dinner, while we were doing dishes, Carly said to me, "You know, I thought you were too harsh at first, canceling Christmas, cutting her off completely. But now I see you did the only thing that would actually help her." "I didn't do it to help her," I said honestly. "I did it because I was hurt and angry." "Maybe," Carly said, but the result was the same. She had to face reality, and that's what she needed. December rolled around, and with it came the anniversary of the Christmas disaster. None of us mentioned it explicitly, but I think we were all thinking about it. Brenda called me the first week of December, her voice shaky. "I'm really anxious about Christmas this year," she admitted. "I keep having nightmares about last year, about the kids crying, about how badly I messed everything up." "What are you planning this year?" I asked. "Nothing fancy. Just us at home. Maybe drive around looking at Christmas lights. Bake cookies together. I bought presents within our budget, nothing crazy. But I'm terrified it won't be enough, that the kids will be disappointed." "Have you asked them what they want?" "Actually, yeah. And you know what they said. They said they just want us all to be together and happy. No fighting, no stress, just family time." "Then give them that," I said. "That's the best gift anyway." "Will you come?" Brenda asked suddenly. "To our Christmas? It won't be fancy like what you planned last year. Just dinner and games and probably too much sugar. But I'd really like you to be there." I hesitated. Part of me wanted to say yes immediately, but another part remembered the pain of last year, the betrayal, the tears. "Let me think about it," I said finally. "Okay," Brenda said. "No pressure, but the invitation stands. I talked to Dr. Kim about it in therapy." "What do you want to do?" she asked. "I don't know. Part of me wants to go to show the kids I'm still here for them, but I'm also scared of getting hurt again." "What would need to be different for you to feel safe going?" I thought about that. I need to know I can leave if it gets weird. I need to not feel obligated to bring expensive gifts or fund anything. I need to know this is just family time, not another opportunity for Brenda to use me. So set those boundaries. Tell Brenda exactly what you need. So I did. I called Brenda back and said, "I'll come, but I need you to know I'm bringing small, modest gifts. Nothing expensive. And if things get uncomfortable, I'm leaving. No drama, no explanation. I'm just going." "That's totally fair," Brenda said immediately. "Honestly, Zoe, I just want you there. Everything else is just details." Christmas Eve arrived. I showed up at Brenda's apartment with gifts wrapped in paper from the dollar store, board games for the family, books for each kid, nothing over $20 total. When Brenda opened the door, she smiled and hugged me. "Thank you for coming," she said. The apartment was decorated simply, paper snowflakes the kids had made, a small tree with ornaments that were clearly handmade or old, lights strung around the windows. It wasn't the Instagram perfect Christmas, but it felt warm and real. Jeff was in the kitchen making hot chocolate. The kids tackled me with hugs as soon as they saw me. "Aunt Zoe, you came. We were hoping you would." We played board games and card games. We ate pizza for dinner because Brenda's oven wasn't working, and they couldn't afford to fix it yet. The kids opened their presents Christmas morning, modest gifts from their parents, and they were genuinely excited about every single one. "This is the best Christmas ever," Violet said, hugging her new stuffed animal. It had cost maybe $12. but she loved it like it was made of gold. I stayed until late afternoon, and when I left, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time around my sister: peace. Things weren't perfect, and maybe they never would be, but they were honest, and that mattered more. January came with new challenges. The kids' school announced a field trip that required $40 per student, $120 total for all 3 kids. Brenda called me, and I could hear the stress in her voice. "I know you're not my personal bank anymore," she said, "and I'm not asking you to pay for this. I just needed to vent to someone. We can probably swing it if we skip some other things, but it's tight. What if I covered half?" I offered, $60 as a gift. Not a loan, not something you have to pay back. Just me being their aunt and wanting them to go on the trip. "Zoe, you don't have to." "I know I don't have to. I want to, but only if you're comfortable with it. No strings attached, no guilt, no expectations." There was a pause. Then, "Thank you. Really, that would help a lot." I sent her the $60, and it felt different this time. It felt like helping, not enabling, like I was giving freely instead of out of obligation or guilt. February brought Valentine's Day and Violet's birthday. The party was small again, just a few friends, and Brenda made heart-shaped pizzas and a strawberry cake. I brought Violet a modest gift, a craft kit she could do with her siblings, and she was thrilled. "You always get me the best presents, Aunt Zoe," she said, hugging me. "That's because I pay attention to what you like," I said. After the party, Brenda and I sat on her small balcony while Jeff supervised the kids inside. It was cold, but we both needed the quiet. "I've been thinking about something," Brenda said, "and I want to run it by you." "Okay, I want to go back to school, not full-time, just online classes. Maybe get a certificate in accounting or something that could get me a better job eventually." "That's great," I said. "The thing is, it'll cost money. Not a lot, but enough that it'll strain our budget, and I wanted to tell you because I don't want you to think I'm being irresponsible with the money I'm supposed to be using to pay you back. Brenda, investing in your education isn't irresponsible. If it means you can get a better job and provide more stability for your family, that's smart." "Really? Really? I'm not sitting here tracking every dollar you spend. I just want you to be honest with me, which you're doing. So yeah, go for it." She smiled, and I could see relief wash over her face. "I'm scared I'll fail." "You might," I said honestly, "or you might succeed. But you'll never know if you don't try." Brenda started her online classes in March. She'd work her shift at Target, come home and make dinner, help the kids with homework, and then study for an hour or 2 after they went to bed. It was exhausting, but she was determined. I got an A on my first test. She texted me one night. I literally cried in front of my laptop. "I'm so proud of you," I texted back. Spring arrived, and with it came more changes. Jeff got another small raise. Brenda finished her first class with a B+. The kids were doing well in school. They'd moved from surviving to actually living, and it showed in everything they did. One Saturday, I was at the farmer's market when I ran into Jennifer, another one of the people Brenda had borrowed money from. She waved me over to her booth where she was selling homemade soaps. "Hey, I wanted to thank you," Jennifer said. "For what?" "For whatever you said to Brenda. She came by my house last month, paid me back the money she owed, and apologized for lying about why she needed it. I was still kind of mad at her, but seeing her take responsibility like that made me respect her." "I didn't say anything to her," I said. "She did that on her own?" "Well, whatever changed in her, it's good, real good." I bought some of Jennifer's soap, and as I walked away, I felt proud of Brenda in a way I hadn't in years. She was doing the work, making amends, rebuilding her life piece by piece. April brought Gavin's science fair again. This year, he didn't need last-minute help. He'd been working on his project for weeks, and both Brenda and Jeff had been involved from the start. He made a volcano that actually erupted, and while it wasn't the most sophisticated project, it was his. "I didn't win anything this year," Gavin said afterward, trying not to sound disappointed. "That's okay." Jeff said, "You worked hard and learned a lot. That's what matters. Plus, your volcano is epic," I added. "Way better than half the projects there." Gavin brightened. "It was pretty cool, right?" "The coolest," I agreed. After the fair, Brenda, Jeff, and I went for coffee while the kids played at a nearby park. It was the first time the 3 of us had hung out casually in over a year. "I've been thinking about something," Brenda said, stirring sugar into her coffee. "I want to have a conversation about the money I owe you. Not to make excuses or ask for forgiveness, just to establish realistic expectations." "Okay," I said carefully. "I've paid you back about $3,000 so far. That leaves $44,000. At the rate I'm going, it'll take me years to repay you, maybe decades. And I wanted to acknowledge that and ask if you're okay with that reality." I thought about it. "Honestly, I'm not expecting you to pay me back. I know that sounds weird, but I'm not. If you do, great. If you don't, I'll survive. The money isn't what matters anymore. It matters to me, Brenda said firmly, because I need to prove to myself that I can fix what I broke, even if it takes forever. Then keep doing what you're doing, I said. Pay me back when you can, but don't sacrifice your family's stability to do it. Deal? Deal, Brenda said, and we shook on it. May came with Mother's Day, and all 3 kids made handmade cards for Brenda. Daisy said, "To the best mom who's trying her hardest." Gavin's had a drawing of the whole family. Violet's was covered in glitter and stickers and said, "I love you forever and ever." Brenda showed me the cards when I stopped by later that day. "These mean more to me than any expensive gift ever could," she said, her eyes watering. "They're pretty special," I agreed. "Can I tell you something?" Brenda asked. "When I look at how my life used to be, all that fake perfection and pretending, I don't miss it. This life is harder in a lot of ways, but it's real, and real feels so much better. I'm glad you see that now," I said. June brought summer vacation and all the chaos that comes with it. Brenda had to figure out childcare while she and Jeff worked, which meant the kids spent a lot of time at summer camps run by the community center. They cost money, but not as much as private camps, and the kids actually loved them. "We're going on a field trip to the aquarium," Gavin told me excitedly one day, "and it's free because the camp paid for it." "That's awesome, buddy." The kids started coming to my place one afternoon a week during summer. It became our regular thing, no big plans or expensive outings. We'd make lunch together, play in the sprinkler in my apartment complex's courtyard, or do crafts. Simple stuff, but they loved it. "Why don't we do stuff like this at home?" Violet asked once while we were making friendship bracelets. "You can," I said. "You don't need fancy toys or expensive trips to have fun. You just need imagination and time together." July brought Independence Day, and Mom hosted a barbecue. All of us were there, plus extended family. Brenda brought potato salad and stayed the whole time, not making excuses to leave early or acting uncomfortable. She laughed at Dad's bad jokes and helped clean up afterward without being asked. "Your sister's doing good," one of our aunts said to me while we were putting away leftovers. "She seems lighter somehow." "She's been working really hard," I said. "You both have," the aunt said. "It takes 2 people to rebuild a relationship. Don't forget to give yourself credit too." August meant back to school shopping, and again, Brenda reached out to family for hand-me-downs before buying new. She'd gotten comfortable with the reality of their budget, no longer ashamed to admit they couldn't afford everything brand new. "Daisy needs new shoes though," Brenda told me. "Her feet grew like crazy this summer and nothing fits. But we budgeted for it, so we're good." "That's great," I said, and I meant it. She wasn't asking me for money or hinting around. She was just sharing an update like a normal person. September brought Brenda's birthday, and the family went to dinner at a casual restaurant. Nothing fancy, just burgers and fries, but it was nice. The kids made her cards again, and Jeff got her a necklace with the kids' birthstones. It was simple, but thoughtful. "This is my favorite birthday I've had in years," Brenda said as we were leaving. "No stress, no pretending, just family. That's what birthdays should be," Mom said, putting her arm around Brenda. October brought another round of birthdays and Halloween. The kids trick-or-treated in homemade costumes Brenda had helped them make from stuff around the house. Daisy was a vampire, Gavin was a skeleton, and Violet was a cat. They looked adorable and had more fun making their costumes than they would have buying expensive ones. "I used to stress about having the perfect Halloween," Brenda admitted as we walked behind the kids, like they needed store-bought costumes or elaborate decorations. But honestly, they don't care about any of that. They just wanted to dress up and get candy. "Kids are pretty simple when you really think about it," I said. "Yeah, they are. I'm the one who made everything complicated." November brought another Thanksgiving at Mom and Dad's. This year felt different from last year though. There was no tension, no unspoken resentment, just family gathering together, grateful for each other and the progress we'd all made. During dinner, Mom asked everyone to share what they were thankful for. When it was Brenda's turn, she got emotional. "I'm thankful for second chances," she said, "for family that didn't give up on me even when I probably deserved it, for learning that being honest is better than being perfect, and for finally understanding what really matters." There wasn't a dry eye at the table. December came around again, marking 1 full year since the Christmas disaster. Brenda called me early in the month and I could hear she was nervous. "I want to talk about Christmas," she said. "Okay, Jeff and I want to host a small dinner. Nothing elaborate, just family. We'd really like you to come. And I wanted to ask if there's anything you need from me to feel comfortable doing that." "Just honesty," I said. "That's all I've ever needed." "You've got it," she said. "I promise." Christmas Eve arrived, and I went to Brenda and Jeff's apartment. They decorated modestly again, but there was something warm and inviting about it. The kids were excited, not because they expected tons of expensive presents, but because everyone they loved was together. We had dinner, played games, watched Christmas movies. The kids opened their presents the next morning, and while none of them were expensive, each one was thoughtful and chosen with care. Daisy got art supplies. Gavin got books about science. Violet got a dollhouse made from cardboard that Jeff had built himself. "This is amazing, Dad," Violet said, examining every detail of the handmade dollhouse. "I'm glad you like it, sweetheart," Jeff said, beaming with pride. After the kids went to bed that night, Brenda, Jeff, and I sat in the living room drinking hot chocolate. "Thank you for coming," Brenda said, "for giving us another chance." "Thank you for becoming someone worth giving a chance to," I replied. We sat in comfortable silence for a while, and I realized something. We'd made it. Not back to where we were before, but to somewhere new and better. Somewhere honest. January rolled around again, and with it came New Year's resolutions. Brenda told me hers was to finish her certificate program and apply for better jobs. Jeff's was to keep advancing at work and maybe take a management training course. The kids were typical kid stuff like eating more vegetables and reading more books. "What's your resolution?" Brenda asked me. "To keep building healthy relationships," I said. "With you, with the kids, with everyone. And to remember that family is what you make it, not what you're born into." "I like that," Brenda said. As winter continued, life settled into a new normal. Brenda and I talked on the phone regularly, not about money or problems, just about life. The kids came over every week. Family dinners happened monthly. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. In February, Brenda finished her certificate program with a 3.7 GPA. She applied to several administrative jobs that paid better than Target and actually got called for interviews. "I'm terrified," she admitted before her first interview. "What if I mess this up?" "Then you'll learn from it and try again," I said. "But I don't think you will. You've got this." She got the job. Administrative assistant at a local law firm, making $15 an hour, which was way better than Target's minimum wage. She put in her 2 weeks' notice and started her new position in March. Her first paycheck from the new job was almost double what she'd been making. She sent me a photo of the deposit slip with the caption, "This is what progress looks like." I sent back a string of celebration emojis. With both of them working better jobs, Brenda and Jeff were finally able to breathe financially. They weren't rich, not by a long shot, but they weren't drowning anymore either. They could pay their bills on time, buy groceries without anxiety, and even start building a small savings account. "We have $400 in savings now," Jeff told me proudly one day. "I know that's not much, but for us it's huge." "That's amazing," I said, and I meant it. March brought spring break, and the kids asked if they could spend it with me. Brenda checked with me first, making sure I was actually okay with it, and not just agreeing out of obligation. "I genuinely want them here," I assured her. "Stop second-guessing everything." The kids spent 5 days at my apartment. We went to the zoo, made elaborate forts out of blankets, had a movie marathon, and baked way too many cookies. On their last night, we sat on my balcony eating ice cream and watching the sunset. "Aunt Zoe," Daisy said, "thank you for never giving up on us." "I would never give up on you guys," I said. "You know that, right?" "Yeah," Gavin said. "But Mom said there was a time when things were really bad, and you could have walked away from all of us, but you didn't. Your mom and I had to work through some hard stuff," I explained. "But that was between us grown-ups. It was never about you three. We're glad you're still our aunt," Violet said simply, and that was that. April brought another science fair, another birthday party, another round of normal family life. Brenda continued sending me small payments when she could, never more than she could afford, but consistent. We were up to about $6,000 now out of $47,000. "At this rate, I'll have you paid back by the time I'm 60, Brenda joked during one of our phone calls. "I told you I'm not worried about it," I said. "I know, but I am. It matters to me." May came with another Mother's Day, and this year the kids got creative. They filmed a video message for Brenda, each of them saying why they loved her and what made her a great mom. Gavin talked about how she helps with homework every night. Daisy mentioned that she's always honest now. Violet said she makes the best grilled cheese. Brenda cried watching it, happy tears this time. "I don't deserve them?" she said. "Yes, you do," I replied, "because you're showing up and being the mom they need. That's what matters." June brought summer again, and with it came planning for camps and activities. Brenda had the money situation under control now, which was a relief for everyone. The kids went to day camps, and Brenda and Jeff even managed to take them on a weekend camping trip to a state park. "It wasn't fancy," Brenda told me afterward. "We slept in tents and cooked over a fire. But the kids had a blast, and it only cost us like $150 total." "That's what family memories are made of," I said. July brought another Independence Day barbecue at Mom's. This one felt lighter than any in recent memory. Everyone was relaxed, laughing, just enjoying each other's company. Brenda and I helped set up together. And at one point, she stopped and just looked at me. "What?" I asked. "I'm just really grateful," she said. "For you, for this family, for second chances." "I don't say it enough. You don't have to say it," I replied. "I can see it in how you live now." August brought the usual back-to-school chaos, but Brenda handled it with way less stress than previous years. She'd learned to let go of perfection and embrace good enough, which made everything easier. September brought Brenda's second certificate course. She decided to keep learning, keep improving, and maybe eventually get an associate's degree. It would take years doing it part-time, but she was committed. "I'm doing this for me," she told me. "Not to prove anything to anyone else, just for myself. I want to know I'm capable of more." "You are capable of more," I said. "You've already proven that." October brought Halloween again. More homemade costumes, more trick-or-treating, more normal family stuff. The kids were growing up fast. Daisy was 13 now, Gavin was 10, Violet was 8. They were good kids despite everything they'd been through. November brought another Thanksgiving, another opportunity to be grateful. And honestly, there was so much to be grateful for. Progress, healing, honesty, family. As December rolled around, 2 years after the Christmas disaster, Brenda and I met for coffee. Just the two of us, no kids, no agenda, just sisters catching up. "I was thinking about Christmas 2 years ago," Brenda said, stirring her latte. "Yeah?" "And I realized that canceling everything was probably the best thing you could have done for me. I was so entitled, so convinced that I deserved your help without appreciating it. I needed that wake-up call." "I wasn't trying to teach you a lesson," I admitted. "I was just hurt and angry." "I know, but the result was the same. You forced me to face reality, and that changed everything. I'm not saying it was fun or that I enjoyed it at the time, but it made me who I am now, and I like who I am now way better than who I was then." "I like who you are now too," I said. We finished our coffee and hugged goodbye, and I drove home thinking about how far we'd all come. From that night of Brenda banging on my door, crying and screaming, to now, to coffee dates and honest conversations and real relationships. Christmas came, simple and warm. New Year's Eve arrived, reflective and hopeful. And through it all, our family kept moving forward. Not perfect, but honest. Not easy, but real. And honestly, real was so much better than perfect ever was. Brenda sent me a payment of $500 in January, marking about $7,500 total she'd paid back over the 2 years. Still nowhere near the full amount, but steady and consistent. That same month, something shifted in our relationship. We stopped talking about the past as much and started focusing on the present and future. Our conversations became about the kids' school achievements, funny things that happened at work, random observations about life. We were becoming friends again, but different friends, better friends. February brought Daisy's 13th birthday and her official entry into the teenage years. She wanted a small party with just her closest friends, and Brenda handled it beautifully. No stress, no trying to impress anyone, just a genuine celebration. "Mom's so much calmer now," Daisy told me while we were cleaning up after the party. "She doesn't freak out about stuff like she used to." "How does that feel?" I asked. "Good, really good. Like I can breathe easier, you know?" I knew exactly what she meant. March brought unexpected news. Jeff got offered a position as district manager overseeing 3 stores. It came with a significant pay bump, $42,000 to $56,000 annually. He'd have to work longer hours sometimes, but the financial stability would be worth it. We talked about it as a family. Jeff told me, made sure the kids understood what it would mean. More money, but Dad gone more. They were actually really mature about it. Said they'd rather have stability than have me around every single night. "That's big of them," I said. "They're good kids. Despite everything, or maybe because of everything, they turned out really good. With Jeff's raise and Brenda's administrative job, they were making almost $75,000 combined. Not wealthy, but solidly middle class. They'd come so far from that desperate night 2 years ago. In April, they were able to move to a better apartment. Still a 2-bedroom, but in a nicer complex with a pool and a playground. The kids were thrilled.